state you are. Come on in. Make sure you put down where you're from. So, how many of you know that God wants us to heal now? Back in the day, they would tell you when we all go to heaven, what a joy it would be, and back then they wanted things when we go to heaven. But how many of you know that this generation, that's why they're the now generation. See, they realize the truth that we don't have to wait till we go to heaven to receive the blessing. We can receive it now while we are here on earth. What the word says, on earth as it is in heaven. So how many of you know that you can receive your healing now? You no longer have to wait. When you get into the word of God, you start finding out the truth. And this generation was like, "What are y'all talking about? I don't want to wait till I go to heaven. I want it now." So that's what I can say about the new generation. They are open up our eyes to a lot of things. So that's why I don't mind learning from the young generation when I taught children church and teens church. I never made them feel like they were too young to teach me something, to tell me something. When my children tell me something, you'd be amazed that God used your children too. It just don't use older people or just pastors. They use your children too. So you got to listen to those children. And they will give you some wisdom as well. And I can say that this generation did give us some wisdom on right now. They're the now generation. So we want our deliverance now. We want our healing now while we're here on earth. So this is Self-Deliverance Tuesday. We're going to talk about some more healing, things that you can do to heal yourself. We're going to find out what's behind these diseases, these sicknesses, this spirit of infirmity. We're going to find out the truth. Now, I want you to know this is my second time doing this. The first one, I don't know what happened. It was the strangest thing. But I know that God wants you to know this word. That's how I know. When I do a word and it's a fight to get it out, this is for somebody. So we're going to talk about circulation issues. How many of you know that it's a lot of people's circulation issues? And then how you could do self-deliverance to heal yourself. There is a spiritual root behind everything, okay? So I always say when you go to the doctor, they can't understand what's going on with you. Your legs are swelling. They don't know what's wrong with you. And then I really want to talk about varicose veins. Now, I haven't seen varicose veins in a long time. And to me, when I did the research on this and study, it kind of reminded me of back in the day. Things, how we used to think and how we used to do. And I don't see that too much in young people and older people. Like in my generation, for instance, I'm in my 50s. So I haven't seen anyone in my generation with this and any younger. And if it is, it's very few. And I think it's because of certain things, So I'm going to talk about that later. I'm going to bring that back up. But first, I'm going to go into explaining what circulation issues is, give you definitions or whatever. Then I'm going to go into the issues. And then we're going to go into self-deliverance, what you can do to get healed now. Okay, so here we go. Circulation is like movement through a circle. So if you think about the body, our bodies are so powerful, I want you to know. And God is so amazing about our bodies. If you think about our blood circulation in our body, you'll know that it's going in a circle because it's going all through the body. And the only way it's an interruption is if you get a cut. And then it pours out and then it kind of stops the circulation or whatever. That's the only thing I can think of like that. So circulation goes, it's in a circle. It's a cycle. Okay? And then the Lord wants me to tell you about, your circulatory system. And remember, I have notes so I can stay on course, so I can make sure I say what I need to say. Your circulatory system of the body has 4 areas, and that's the blood vascular, which consists of the blood to the heart, vessels, arteries, veins, and capillaries. Excuse me. And then number 2, your respiratory system, which consists of the lungs and all the tubes that lead out of the lungs to your nose, your mouth, your trachea, and the bronchi. And the 3rd is lymphatic system, which is the lymph vessel, the lymph nodes, and the spleen. And then your nervous system consists of the brain, spinal cord, nerves, sense organs, your eyes, ears, taste buds, and the touch. So you got 4 areas of the body that we're dealing with, but we're going to talk about varicose veins. And varicose veins is when your veins begin to be dilated, and it consists of the back of the calves and in what is that? These are my notes, guys, so hold on. And inside of legs. My notes are horrible because I'm jotting down. Okay, so when you have a circulatory issue in your body, any of those 4 areas, it's because you have issues of distress in your system. Stress is not of God. Doesn't sound good. Sounds just like stress. You have stressed out your circulatory system in some type of way. And like I said, when you go to the doctor, they ask you what's in your family. And they say, okay, that's why you have varicose veins. And is this in your family? What your mother have? What your brother have? What your father have? Is this in your family? And then that's why you have this. Okay, so some of it is hereditary and some of it is symptoms caused by things you're doing in your life. All right, so I am going to go into the symptoms and what you're experiencing. And then I'm gonna, oops, sorry, I forgot I was on camera. My back was itching. But I'm gonna go into the symptoms and what is playing a part in this circulatory system in your body. And then if this relates to you, if you get it, you understand, this is helping you, this is what you're going through, hit the like button so I know that this is really what you're dealing with. And you can comment, yes, this sounds right. Go ahead and comment and like to let me know that this is really what you're going through and you're working on it. So God is saying this is more common in women than men. This is more common than women and men. And as I studied it and read on it, it kind of makes sense. Like I said, this kind of pertains to back in the day because, like I said, I'm in my 50s. And I seen it when I was a little girl. I'm 50. And when I seen this as a little girl, it was the older generation had it. Okay? So these are what's creating varicose veins and circulation issues in your body. You're living in an environment where there is no communication. A lot of family issues. You can't express yourself. You have to keep up with everybody containing to the family. It's like a responsibility. That is your responsibility to the family to deal with this. And it's too much. It's too much. You can't express yourself. You can't talk. You can't voice your opinion. I grew up in a household where My dad was head honcho, and my mom couldn't say nothing. She couldn't voice her opinion. She couldn't tell what she felt. What he did is what he did, and if you don't like it, oh well. You either deal with it or you deal with it. And she didn't have no say so in nothing. Okay, she just, in my eyes, looking at a child, it looks like she just took it and just let my dad do whatever. And even if she didn't agree with it and like it, she didn't say nothing. She just accepted it. Talk about how you don't, okay. Feeling trapped, devalued, self-devalue. You're devaluing yourself as well. You feel overwhelmed because it's like it's your responsibility. Like you feel like this, you deal with it. You're always dealing with it. Nobody else deal with it but you. Seem like you can't catch a break. You're always having to take responsibility over everything. And so this kind of reminds me of, like I was saying earlier, I saw it in the older generation, and I don't see varicose veins as much. It's probably still there, but I don't see it in the 30-year-olds, the 40-year-olds, and the 50-year-olds. And I think social media is playing a part in that, because remember, it's just said that you can't voice your opinion, you can't say no, you have to take responsibility. With social media, you're able to, if you can't communicate with nobody in the house, you can't communicate and nobody's understanding you around you, people tend to run to social media and vent. And I think that in itself is helpful. And I think Curora, I'm on there, I'm always giving advice and talking to people all the time on there and helping people, giving advice. And people are looking for answers. People are looking for information. And we're able to reach out and talk to people. And it's like, if you don't have nobody to talk to, you're not trying to heal. That's just how it is right now, because it's too much out here. And there's too many people that are willing to talk to you and to help you. And so I think that's playing a part to where we don't see that as much, because we're opening up, we're talking about things, we're learning generational curses, we're working on generational curse, breaking them. And so I don't really see that too much anymore. And if I'm wrong, just let me know in the comments. You see that a lot. I don't see it as much as I did when I was young. I saw it a lot. And that makes sense. That's why I said it brings me back to the old mentality we had, to where, and there's still some marriages and families like that. Don't get me wrong. It's still out there, but it was the main thing that everybody stood on back then. And varicose veins was very big back then. And if it is, you know, like I said, this could be for the older generation. This video could be for the older generation, because I do have a few, quite a few older people that watch me as well. So if this is for you, just hit that like button or put in a comment, yes, you're right, yeah, that makes sense. Just hit the like button. I know that this is helping you. You feel like burdens. You feel like you're burdened about your family, you know, like you want to do some things, but you can't because you got to worry about everybody else. And it's like you're left out. You don't even know why you're here. You know, you don't even know what you want to do. You can't even do what you want to do because you're always focused on everybody else. Everybody comes to you. Everybody reaches out to you. And it's like you don't even know who you are. You're feeling overwhelmed. You're like doing things that you hate because you're forced to do it. You know, you're not asked your opinion. Do you want to do this? You're told to do this. And you're disappointed. A lot of negativity, and it's family related. Being in hateful situations, feeling discouraged, overburdened, basically like a people pleaser. You know, you're constantly doing what everybody wants to make everybody happy, but nobody yet have even cared to ask you what you want to do or what you got planned. You know, they always expecting you to do things and you have no say so. You can't say I don't want to do that today. I don't feel like doing that. You can't say no. Right? I hope I'm helping somebody. I know I'm helping somebody. So, those are the symptoms, and that all those feelings can create a circulation problem in your body, causing you to get varicose veins, circulation, legs swelling up as well. There's other symptoms, but I'm not getting into that. I'm mostly getting into the spiritual part and what can help you. And I know you need to exercise, of course. You need to go walking, which is the best exercise for it, walking. And changing what you eat. Now, exercise that I do every night, because it resets your body, you can lay on your back and you can do it to your headboard, or you could do it to a wall, lay on the wall. You know, you could lay on your bed, put your feet on the wall, wherever your bed is at, and there's a wall, and just put your legs up for 20 minutes. That really helps with circulation. And I've been doing it a lot as an older woman. And it resets your body. It recycles, and then if your legs are swollen, your legs will not be swollen anymore after that. You can also try that. I do that. Make sure you change how you eat as well. Now, you can research this and look it up. I'm just telling you the spiritual side of it. Okay? Because that's where I got my research from. What it causes, what it is, things like that. And then the Lord gives me the spiritual healing you need to do along with it. So, what you need to practice doing. First of all, you need to get close to God, because you can't, every video that I make, you need to get close to God, because you can't do this on your own. Because, you know, when you take a stand for yourself, it kind of irritates people. It makes people upset when you take a stand and say no. You know, so you got to make sure, like what I loved about my mom when she dealt with my dad, you know, and I never seen her disrespect or talk to him wrong any kind of way. She would wait to a certain time. She knew my dad, and she would wait to a certain time to talk to him. And she didn't have varicose veins, so I know this must have helped, because she found a way to talk to him and to vent and to say how she feel about things. And it kept her healthy, and you know, because my dad was very controlling. And so that's what she would do to reach out to him. She would find ways, like maybe when he's calm and in a talkative mode, then that's when she'll talk to him about it or say something or whatever like that. And so you have to create a space for yourself. This is your healing and what you need to do. You need to focus on you. You can't take care of everybody else and neglect you. That's like back in the time, so it's not like that anymore. But it could be the best oh my goodness, the best hairdressers that I know back in the day was the ones that hair was never done. They didn't worry about their hair. They were so busy taking care of everybody else's that they didn't care about their appearance. But that's how you knew that she was a good hairdresser. But that shows you right there that she's more into everybody else and making sure everybody else look good. But now it's not like that. It's not as bad, but I'm pretty sure we still got people that are like that. But now the hairdressers are learning that you keep yourself up as well. You can't keep walking around like this. We know you're doing everybody's hair, but you have to make time for yourself. You really do. You know, you have to learn confrontation. I had to learn that. The Holy Spirit had to teach me that. And when you say confrontation, the first thing people think is negative, and it's not negative. Because if you constantly got somebody doing things to you, sooner or later you got to say something. But it's how you say it. You don't have to go up to people and be rude like they are to you. You kill it with kindness. I remember when I first did it, and a woman was cussing me out and chewing me out, and you know, all I did was ask her, ma'am, I do apologize, but I don't know what I did to you. Can you tell me what I did? And she just bust out crying. And it just threw me off like, what just happened? Confrontation is powerful. Because you can't keep taking care of everybody else and not taking care of yourself. You gotta say no sometimes. And I would suggest that, I always said that you have to train people. If you constantly got somebody coming to you asking you for money, you need to start teaching them how to get money. You need to start teaching them how to manage their money. You need to start giving them wisdom, because at one point you may not have the money. And what you gonna tell them? No, and they ain't gonna accept it. Then you're gonna go borrow from somebody else to help them? No. Like when my daughter kept asking me for money, hey, let me show you something. I need you to sign up to be a delivery driver. So when you need money, go do this. So I had to teach her. And she did that. She signed up and she tried it for a while. And I said, this is how you make extra money. And that way you don't have to ask nobody. I said, because there may be a time I don't have it. So I'm teaching her. This is what you need to do. Go make some extra money. That way you don't bother nobody. So this is what you have to do. You can't help everybody. Sometimes you have to sit down and talk to them. Hey, what are you doing with your money? Let me write down. You need to start writing stuff down. You need to start seeing where your money going. You have to teach them. Because if you don't, the word says, teach a man how to fish. So teach him how to fish. Go buy him a fishing pole. You keep coming over here for fish because you know I got a freezer full of frozen fish. Let me go get you a fishing pole and you come on with me. And let's learn how to fish and get your own fish. That's biblical. I may not be saying it word for word, but it's biblical. What am I saying? Sometimes you got to say no and teach them how to get it on their own. Now my daughter don't call me asking me for money. She goes out, she sign up, and she go do it on her own. That's the goal. At peace. I don't have to worry about it. And that helps your child. That helps her to not bother and want for nothing. That's teaching. And so you got to learn how to make time for yourself. If you're really a generational curse breaker. If you constantly got people coming to you and then you seeing all these family issues and it's bothering you, you're a curse breaker. And you most definitely need God's help to break these curses. If you're overburdened with it, you most definitely need God's help to break these curses, that you feel overwhelmed and you don't know where all these attacks coming from. Most definitely. Okay, so you got to make time for yourself. When someone sometimes you just got to make time. Just watch a movie. I do that all the time. When I feel like, okay, let me sit down and watch a movie. I have to make myself. You have to do that. You have to make time for yourself. If you decided this is your relaxed time and somebody call you, either don't answer, call them later. Tell them, no, I can't do it right now. Can I do it another day? Can I do it tomorrow? That's how you have to do. You have to manage your time. You're overwhelming. Our body can't handle stress. Our body is so intelligent. It can't deal with stress. That's why it breaks down. And poor circulation has something to do with that. You got to learn how to relax instead of getting upset. And then you got to learn how to change your attitude towards it. So I just gave you some change focus. That means you're a curse breaker. So then you need to shift your focus. That means you're a leader. If you constantly got everybody in the family come to you. Remember back in the day, the grandma where everybody went to, she had all the wisdom, she had all the knowledge, and everybody go to grandma. Well, she poured in all that wisdom in you. Somebody in the family has to raise up and be the same way, and that could be you. But you got to learn how to look at it differently. Instead of looking at it as a burden, look at it as, okay, you're the one everybody needs to come to, but you still have to be in control. Now, for as this sounds like to me back in the day when since it's always in the woman, more majority in the woman, it sounds like to me like back in the day when the husband can do whatever he wants and the wife can't, and she can't say nothing. Like I told you how my mom was in a situation where she couldn't voice her opinion. That's what this sounds like. That's why I said this kind of reminds me of the old way and why I haven't seen this in so long. But you can still be healed with it. Now, those are the things you can do. And most definitely, you need to exercise to improve your circulation. Walking is the best, and change how you eat. You need to learn how to love yourself, get organized. And I also think about the mothers that have babies after babies after babies. I can't stress enough. This is why I say when you first meet someone, you have to ask questions. You need to find out what type of wife he wants, what kind of life he wants. Do he want a wife that works? Do he want one to stay at home? Do he want one a housewife? You have to ask all these questions, because you'll get in a marriage or a relationship where you are a career woman and you marry him or you be with him in a relationship, all of a sudden he tell you, I don't want you to work. And he's that type of man that what he say, it goes. It doesn't matter what you think. I don't want to hear what you got to say. I said stop working. You don't want to marry you a woman of God and you go to church faithfully and you didn't ask these questions. And then you marry him and find out he don't want you to go to church anymore. I said, no, I want you to stay home. And you have to be obedient to your husband. That's what the word says. Submissive to your husband. And that's why he clearly tells us, don't be unequally yoked. You may get with someone that don't serve the Lord, that don't love the Lord. And then you got to be submissive. Doesn't matter if you agree or not. That is the word. That's why he wants us to not be unequally yoked, because you got to do what he say. So, I just feel sorry for the women that have babies back to back to back, and that's not what they wanted. The husband didn't ask. He just kept doing it, and she's just overwhelmed, and it's her responsibility to take care of the house and take care of the kids. And there are so many women like that. I've seen young women that have had a baby, they wait 3 or 4 years, have another one, then have another one, then have another one, and they're just so overwhelmed. That's why you have to be on one accord with the right person, because that's overwhelming. Now, if you guys agreed to do that, then that's a whole different ball game. But I'm talking about being connected with people. You're not asking questions, you're not nothing, and you're stuck in a situation. And once that soul tie, it's hard to get out. It's very hard to get out. And so this is why God says what he says about being unequally yoked, because you don't know what kind of situation you is. And now you got to deal with it. You got to figure things out. Your life is over. You got to figure it out. So you got to learn how to organize, and you got to learn how to make time for yourself. You got to get them babies in the bed for when your husband come. And then you got to spend time with your husband. That's overwhelming. You got to get a plan. So hopefully I said something to you that blessed you, that helped you. Make sure you like to be a blessing. Share if you know someone that needs to hear this. Go ahead and comment. This is what I needed. Hit that like button if this relates to you. This has helped you. And make sure you exercise with that. Get closer walk with God. Spend time. And you're welcome.